While watching the wonderful series about Hercule Poirot, I was very inspired by the style of the 30s and the Art Deco style. So today, we will make an incredibly stylish jewelry box in the Art Deco style. Welcome to the VIOLA Decor Studio channel. All materials and tools are provided in the description of the video. The key to a good result is the quality of the foundation. Therefore, the wooden workpiece must be treated with sandpaper, especially the ends, and clean from dust. There will be decoupage on the sides of the box. Therefore, prime or paint the sides with white acrylic paint. Dry well. Since there are two parts on the sides of the box, upper and lower, after drying, open the box and clean the inner ends with sandpaper from paint spills. For a beautiful result, the napkin should be glued to the sides of the box with a solid cloth. Therefore, on one side, fix the upper and lower parts with masking tape. Cut elements of the required shape from the napkin. Separate the colored layer. Draw a pattern on the napkin as desired. I chose the stripes to go slightly diagonally, but along the sides of the box. Glue the napkin with decoupage glue. Apply glue supposedly from the center to the edges, but along the side of the box. Glue the napkin to each side of the box separately and dry each side separately. After drying, remove the remnants of the napkin from the sides of the surface with sandpaper. After that, the edges of the napkins can come away from the surface, so be sure to cover the surface again with decoupage glue, paying special attention to the ends. Now you need to carefully cut the napkin along the border of the upper and lower parts of the box. Do it with a thin clerical knife. Carefully cut each side and gradually open the box. Do not pull. Do this procedure carefully so as not to damage the decoupage. Treat the inner ends with sandpaper to make the edge of the napkin neat and even. Let's go to the upper and lower part. They will be black for me. Therefore, I paint them with acrylic black paint. Since my box blank is made of plywood, it has a peculiarity of painting. After the first layer of paint and drying, small wood fibers rise up, and they must be removed with sandpaper. This should be done exclusively along the grain of the wood, otherwise the sandpaper will scratch the surface. And after that, apply another layer of acrylic paint. This will make the surface smooth and beautiful. And there is another point. When we work with a multifaceted base and different colors, one color always passes from one face to another during painting. Therefore, we pay special attention to the edges and quickly remove the paint that gets on the adjacent edge of the box. For further successful decoration, it is necessary to cover the surface of the box with acrylic water varnish. The Art Deco style is characterized by shiny, glossy surfaces, so take a glossy varnish. Apply varnish along the grain of the wood. Dry exclusively naturally. It is advisable to leave it to dry overnight. The main decoration of the box will be a three-dimensional pattern on the lid of the box. I will use the usual white construction finishing putty, but it will immediately be a finishing decoration on the box. Therefore, in this case, it is important to make such a pattern very clearly and immediately beautiful. Fix the stencil on all sides with construction tape. Apply the putty with a palette knife carefully, evenly, and quickly. And very carefully remove the stencil with a single movement in one direction so that the stencil itself does not damage the already finished pattern. As you can see, in one place, the putty got under the stencil and did not look good. To fix this, while the putty is still raw, carefully remove the excess with a toothpick and clean it with wet putty. It is very nice to dry the pattern. When applied, the surface of the pattern is still uneven, so it is necessary to clean the surface with sandpaper using careful circular movements. Clean with a dry brush from dust and clean the black background from dust residues with a wet napkin. Cover the surface with acrylic glossy varnish. Since there is already a three-dimensional pattern, the varnish will fall into the relief, so it is important to align everything so that the varnish does not level the relief. It is good to dry naturally. Now, let's move on to the inside of the box. She will be beautiful too. On the inside of the lid of the box, there will be a small overlay with the same zebra pattern as on the sides of the box. Make decoupage on the overlay according to the classic technology. Prime the surface, dry, stick a napkin, dry, polish the surface, dry well. paint the end of the pad with black acrylic paint. The inside of the lid and the bottom of the box will be silver. First, paint the surface with silver metallic acrylic paint. Do you remember working with plywood? Here, just as from the outside, after drying, clean the surface with sandpaper and paint a second time with silver acrylic paint. Paint the inner end parts with black acrylic paint. Paint from the corner upwards. Also, paint the upper ends of the inner surfaces of the box black. At the same time, make sure that the paint does not get on the outside of the box. Wipe with a damp cloth. I decided that I wanted the silver to be not just painted, but covered with silver metal. To do this, cover the surface with glue for silver leaf. Allow to dry according to your adhesive's instructions, usually until it comes off. I specially took silver leaf in flakes. They give a beautiful moire surface as a result. Distribute the flakes well on the surface. Remove the excess with a fan brush. Polish the surface with a soft woolen cloth. To protect the silver leaf from oxidation, it is necessary to cover the surface with alcohol shellac. If there is no shellac, then only with a solvent varnish or a special protective varnish for silver leaf. Allow to dry naturally. Here I will show you my failed solution and how to fix it. I covered part of the three-dimensional pattern with silver plating, and this, in my opinion, killed the contrasting style of the box. And there was clearly too much silver leaf. Everything had to be redone. The easiest way was to paint the surface with black acrylic paint. Let it dry. Cover with acrylic gloss, water-based varnish, and reapply the pattern with putty through the stencil. Here it is important to put the stencil exactly in the same place as the first time. Dry up. Level the surface of the pattern with sandpaper. Clean it of dust and cover it again with glossy acrylic water-based varnish. Dry naturally. If you, like me, covered silver leaf with shellac, then, after shellac, you can cover the surface with water-based glossy varnish. Dry naturally. Now, let's deal with accessories. I will use a large, beautiful handle for the lid and spectacular legs. My handle was already covered with silver leaf before. I did it for another project. A small video of this process can be found in the tips, in the upper right corner. After silver leaf, the pen must be aged to imitate the oxidation of silver. It is black. So apply black acrylic paint on the handle and immediately remove excess paint with a dry tissue. Some of the black paint will remain in the relief of the handle, which will look like the natural black oxidation of silver. The legs are bronze and already have such black internal oxidation, so you just need to make them silver. For this, we will use silver patina wax. It's a little dry on me, but it doesn't kill its silver properties. Use your finger to apply wax to the protruding parts of the legs. To make them look silver, it is very good to apply wax, covering the bronze color as much as possible. To make the handle look like legs, it should also be treated with silver wax. If the legs can be glued, then the handle must be placed on the screw. Otherwise, it will not withstand the load when opening the box. To do this, you need to drill a hole in the lid and screw the handle. In order not to damage the already decorated surface, cover the place where the hole will be with a masking tape on both sides. Now the most interesting thing is to simulate the effect of zebra skin and make the surface velvety fluffy. For this, we will use a material such as flock. It is a velvety powder. It is glued on sticky glue. As a sticky glue, you can take glue for silver leaf. It remains sticky for some time when it dries. Use a thin brush to apply sticky glue to the black strips on the sides of the box. Let it dry until it comes off and sprinkle the surface with flock. Do not besour the flock as much as possible on the surface so that it sticks very well. You can even tap your fingers to stick better. All excess will fall off. Stick only where the glue will be applied. Do this procedure over a sheet of paper. Pour all the excess flock back into the jar. It takes about a day to let the glue dry completely under the flock. After that, use a stiff brush to gently brush away the extra flock particles. And finally, glue the legs to the bottom of the box using universal transparent glue. Also, glue the decorative overlay on the inside of the lid of the box. Let it dry naturally for about a day. While I was doing all these processes, the black part of the ends on the inner surfaces got a little white. If this happens, repaint, dry, cover with varnish. To prevent the box from sticking together in the future, let the box dry in an open state for several days, preferably at least 3-4. How do you like the result? I am delighted! Write your impression in the comments. If you liked it, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and we will create together. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. With love, Anna Viola Decor.